I didn't tell my parents how to read my diary. My mom found my diary when I was 15 and thought she hit the jackpot. She'd been trying to figure out what I was up to for months because I'd gotten really good at avoiding her interrogations about school and friends. The thing is, I knew she'd eventually find it because she has zero respect for privacy and goes through my stuff constantly. So I wrote everything in a simple code. Nothing fancy, just shifted every letter 3 places forward in the alphabet. So A became D, B became E, and so on. Took me like 2 minutes to learn, but it looked completely random to anyone who didn't know the pattern. My diary was full of normal teenage stuff written in code, complaints about teachers, drama with my friend Jenna, crushes on boys, the usual. But my mom saw all these weird letter combinations and apparently convinced herself I was either doing drugs, in some kind of cult, or talking to dangerous people online. She spent 3 weeks trying to crack what she thought was some elaborate secret code. I watched her stay up late at the kitchen table with my diary, a notebook, and her laptop, trying different translation methods. She even printed out code-breaking guides from the internet. My dad told her she was being ridiculous, but she was convinced she was about to uncover some major teenage conspiracy. The breaking point came when she decided my coded entries about liking this guy Tyler in my chemistry class were actually me planning to buy drugs. She'd figured out a few words here and there, but was reading everything completely wrong. In her mind, Tyler is so cute when he explains molecular structures became some kind of drug deal arrangement. She confronted me on a Tuesday morning before school, waving my diary around and demanding I tell her what the code meant. She'd called my school counselor, was threatening to call the police, and had already scheduled a family therapy session. She was completely panicked and convinced I was in serious danger. I just stared at her for a minute, then grabbed a pen and paper. I wrote out the alphabet, then wrote it again underneath with each letter shifted 3 spots. Showed her how D meant A, E meant B, and so on. Then I decoded one of her drug deal entries right in front of her. Ubohu LVVR FXOH Zeko KH Hasol Kvi Pro Sodu Viux Faksuv became Tyler is so cute when he explains molecular structures. Her face went through about 5 different emotions in 10 seconds. First confusion, then understanding, then embarrassment, then anger, then this weird defeated look. She'd spent weeks losing sleep over my crush on a boy who was good at chemistry. The worst part for her was that she'd already called my Aunt Linda and my grandma asking for advice about my secret coded communications with dangerous strangers. She'd worked herself up so much that she'd gotten the whole family worried about me. My dad, who'd been watching this whole thing unfold from the doorway, just started laughing. Not mean laughing, but that kind of tired laughter when something ridiculous finally makes sense. He'd been telling my mom for weeks that I was probably just writing normal teenage stuff and she was overthinking it. My mom tried to get mad at me for deliberately deceiving her, but honestly, what did she expect? She goes through my room constantly, reads my texts when I leave my phone around, and asks my friends' parents about what we do when we hang out. I needed some kind of privacy, and a simple letter substitution wasn't exactly CIA-level encryption. The really awkward part was when she had to call everyone back and explain that there was no crisis. She had to tell my Aunt Linda that my coded messages about dangerous activities were actually just me writing about how Tyler had nice eyes and helped me with homework. My grandma, who'd been praying for my safety for 2 weeks, was not thrilled about the false alarm. My school counselor, Mrs. Peterson, called me down to her office later that week to check in. My mom had told her I was using secret codes to hide dangerous behavior, so she wanted to make sure everything was okay. When I explained what actually happened, she just sighed and said she'd seen parents do much stranger things trying to monitor their kids. The family therapy session my mom had scheduled still happened, which was probably good because we needed to talk about boundaries. The therapist basically told my mom that going through my private stuff constantly was pushing me to be more secretive, not less. She explained that if my mom wanted me to be honest with her, she needed to give me some space to be a teenager. My mom didn't love hearing that, but my dad backed up the therapist. He pointed out that in all her searching through my stuff over the years, she'd never actually found anything concerning. I was a pretty boring kid who did my homework, hung out with the same 3 friends, and had normal teenage problems.